YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with yet another Washington football team video, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the real reason why Ron Rivera didn't make any moves at the trade deadline. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington football team. Roll the intro, baby. We are Washington. Let's get it.
We Washington, we Washington, we Washington, we Washington, man, we Washington.
So obviously, I don't know the real exact reason why Ron Rivera didn't make any moves at the trade deadline. Why is that? Of course, because I'm not Ron Rivera. I don't know what goes on inside this man's head. From me knowing Ron Rivera and knowing how he rolled, I have a good synopsis and assumptions of why he didn't make any moves at the trade deadline. So let's get straight into it. Obviously, guys, it's simple. He wants to roll with the young guys. I mean, before he even knew that this division was going to be trash, it was already supposed to be a rebuild. So he was going to go with the young guys regardless. But even with this, trashy division and how it's played out, he still wants to go with the young guys. It's simple as that. You know what I'm saying? These young guys are starting to finally pick up steam. The last week versus the Dallas Cowboys before the bye week, we got a big win and all the young guys contributed. Even before that against the Giants game, even though we lost by 1 point, you've seen how the young guys came together and almost fought to win that game. Starting with the quarterback as a young guy, to the receiving core, to the offensive line, having two veterans, or maybe three because Jerron Christian, and just the whole team is relatively young. And he just wants to stick with his young guys. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we do have a chance to win this division, and who's better to put out there than young guys? You know what I'm saying? And like Ron Rivera did say in his press conference when asked about why he didn't make any moves at the trade deadline, he was just like, what is the purpose of signing guys to 1 year deals? He's like, he only wants to touch guys that have multiple years on their deals so they can have somewhat of leverage on them. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of agree with him in that sense. They only had 1 year left on their deal and they were going to be free agents. So he's like, why are we going to mess with these kind of guys? Simple fact, why a lot of people didn't want to, trade for Ryan Kerrigan, because they're like, why would we give up compensation for a guy that's going to be a free agent this upcoming year? So that's another reason why Ron Rivera didn't want to make any trades at the trade deadline, because majority of the people that are going to be traded or was rumored to be traded are going to be free agents this upcoming year, so we can easily sign them without giving up any compensation, if that makes any sense. So I kind of agree with Ron Rivera in that sense. But also, I'm kind of pissed that he didn't try to make a move at the trade deadline, because although you want to roll with the young guys, which I understand and I'm all for it, I would have liked for us to at least attempt to get a veteran wide receiver like a Will Fuller, like a Kenny Golladay or something like that, even Marvin Jones or even John Ross. But at the same time, I could also see why he didn't want to do that, because he's like, why would we give up compensation for a guy like John Ross, more specifically because he's going to be a free agent after this, because they're going to cut him. They're going to cut him. He demanded a trade, and if they can't find a trade partner, they're going to cut him, in my opinion. So more specifically for John Ross, why would we give up compensation? But at the same time, I really wanted him to do something here, because I felt like a veteran player, although we're not one piece away, it would have helped for us to win this division this year. But like I said, guys, it's obviously still the same. Although, only thing that changed is going us from actually having a chance to win this division and not rebuilding this year. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean the rebuild isn't still going to happen, or is it still not going on. It just so happened that this division is bad, and he still wants to see what his young guys have to offer. And quite frankly, that game versus Dallas, I'm telling you, man, it wasn't a fluke. I don't care what anyone has to say about it's being Dallas stink and stuff like that. I don't care about none of that. It wasn't a fluke. I promise you that this team is finally starting to get chemistry. It's finally starting to be all on one page, and I'm excited to see what the second half of the season can hold for us. Morgan Moses even said it himself before. I said it in my previous video. He said he wished that they didn't have a bye week, because they wanted to play the Giants that week, because it felt the chemistry was just so perfect. And today was their first practice back at the facility since their bye week. They had the week off, and hopefully they could pick up that steam yet again. But back on topic, I kind of got off topic here, but that's really the main two reasons why Ron Rivera didn't want to make any moves at the trade deadline. One, maybe it just wasn't enough. So actually three, maybe it wasn't just that much time out there to trade for. Two, like I said, why would we trade for guys that only have 1 year left on their deal when we can get them in free agency without giving up any compensation? Ron Rivera said it himself. He said we're only looking to trade for guys that have multiple years left on their deal, and outside of Kenny Golladay and probably Will Fuller, I think Will Fuller's actually going to be a free agent this year. So I take that back. I think only person really was Kenny Golladay that really has, multiple years left on his deal. I actually have to double check that, but I know Will Fuller's going to be a free agent. I know John Ross is going to get cut. So it's like it was no point of giving up compensation when we can get him in free agency. Like I said, the same could be said for us with Ryan Kerrigan. Ryan Kerrigan is going to be a free agent next year or this upcoming. Ryan Kerrigan's going to be a free agent this upcoming offseason, so why would a team want to give up compensation when they could possibly land him in free agency? So I understand Ron Rivera's philosophy. Now, do I agree with it so much? Not really, but I also understand why. The reason, like I said, I don't agree with it is because I want to win this year, and I'm comfortable with our young guys, but I would feel even more comfortable if we got like a veteran presence. Now, Ron Rivera, another reason why he didn't want to trade for a veteran is because Ron Rivera was like, we want to roll with the young guys, and we want the young guys to actually have a chance to start. More specifically, Cameron Curl. He said Eric Reed was going to be on the practice squad because it wasn't fair to Cameron Curl, who's been here since training camp, who's worked his tail off, and Jeremy Reeves too. He said for Jeremy Reeves, he's like, well, it wouldn't be fair to give a guy that's been on his couch a starting spot over Cam Curl or Jeremy Reeves, so they get a chance to prove themselves. And that's how you find diamonds in roughs, by giving the players a chance to prove themselves. I mean, let's just look at Steven Sims for an example. I know it's two different coaches, two different atmospheres, but without the preseason last year for Steven Sims, he wouldn't be on this roster right now. So it's always a good chance to give your young guys a reason to go out there and play and giving them a chance. But at the same time, I can understand the crowd that wanted us to go get the veteran players for the safety position, for the wide receiver position, because I was on that fan too. I was on that bandwagon too. But like I said, I like to stay neutral because I'm not mad that he didn't make any moves. But at the same time, I could see why a lot of you guys would be mad. And like I said, I'm neutral, but at the same time, it's like I'm 50-50 with it. I'm mad that he didn't make any moves, but at the same time, I understand why he didn't make any moves. Does that make sense to you guys? Like I said, Ron Rivera, it's really 3 reasons. Like I said, the compensation, there's no point to give up because they're going to be free agents. And 2, maybe he just didn't like any of the people that really were on the trading block. And also, he wants to give the young guys a chance. It's really simple as that, guys. There's nothing else to really be talked about as far as Ron Rivera not making moves at the trade deadline. But I wanted to come on here and just talk about the real reason why Ron Rivera didn't want to give up anything or the real reason why he didn't make any trades at the trade deadline, because a lot of people were pissed at him for not making trades at the trade deadline. So I hope me telling you guys the real reason why Ron Rivera didn't make any trades at the trade deadline helped you guys understand why he didn't do anything. Now, like I said, I'm not Ron Rivera. I'm nothing of Ron Rivera. I'm not his son. I don't know him. I don't know the guy. I'm not Ron Rivera. So obviously, I could very well be wrong, but this is just my opinion and my assumption of why Ron Rivera didn't make any moves at the trade deadline. And my assumptions, I feel like I stand corrected, and I feel like I'm somewhat close. If I'm not all the way there, I'm in the ballpark of the reason why he didn't make any moves at the trade deadline. So without further ado, it's me, Boy One Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe, help to watch the football team. Let me know why you believe Ron Rivera didn't make any moves at the trade deadline. Like, comment, subscribe, help to watch the football team. I'm out. Peace.